Hi, Dr. Greg Gillum, CEO of Human Fusion, and this is part 2 of the podcast, Why Meetings Go Wrong. And we're just summarizing some of the thoughts here from Steven Rogelberg, who's at UNC Charlotte. He writes a lot of books on how to conduct meetings properly. We left the last video talking about ineffectiveness of meetings, phone, side conversations, you are doing all the talking. The interview then starts to say, well, okay, what can we do to control some of this? Well, have a very highly compelling agenda. That's number one. So, have a good reason for people to show up. Maybe it's controversial. Maybe it induces drama, whatever it might be. Have the right people in the room and actively facilitate. Do not lecture. Really do a deep dive on facilitation skills here. Okay, let's talk a little bit. The interview kind of shifts to remote meetings. Why are they so popular? People love remote meetings, and the reason they love them is because they can do something else while the meeting is going on. Again, it's not they're not any more effective, but video is very important, much better than conference calls, because people can't really hide doing something else if they're on video. So they're going to be more engaged. Make sure you address tech issues way beforehand. The worst thing in the world is to get on a video conference and it doesn't work. So stay with the technology. Once you find something that does work, stay with that. Don't switch technologies just to keep up with the Joneses. It doesn't matter. Stick with things that really work. Ban your mute button. Ban your mute button. Don't let anybody mute out of the conference. Okay, so again, that discourages people from wandering off and taking their dog on a walk. Okay, what else here? So make sure that you set your goals and your purpose for the meeting. Write agenda items in question format. I thought that was an interesting idea. So instead of having agenda items, write them in forms of questions. It makes the brain think differently, and it might actually get at some of the results that you're trying to get at if you can actually answer some of those questions. There are lots of apps now that you can download that will test consensus, and so you can actually ask a question in a meeting and get anonymous data right there on the spot. It's immediate if people have the right apps that that they can download. Now that's of course an encouraged use of the phone. Create, for organizations, create windows of meeting-free times. So like no Friday afternoon meetings. That way you can catch up on everything that you need to, and so you can enjoy your weekend. Or maybe during the day, you have meetings at 11 a.m. and 1 p.m., so right around the lunch hour, which frees up your morning creativity and your afternoon tactical wrapping up of issues. That's a really good idea. I like that one a lot. Schedule meetings with odd minutes. So maybe you have a meeting that lasts 32 minutes or 17 minutes, just something odd that breaks the monotony of the 30-minute or the 1-hour meeting. Because Parkinson's law exists, that work expands to fill the time allotted. If you have a 15-minute agenda, but you schedule the meeting for an hour, it'll probably last an hour. You are interrupting people's day when you meet with them, so embrace your role as a host. So be welcoming, have gratitude, show appreciation, because again, you are interrupting their day, and so be grateful. Your energy is the best predictor of success, so if you have high energy, hopefully they will. Actually bring your pre-meeting into the meeting. What does that mean? So if you send out any materials beforehand to read, making sure that people have read them before the meeting, that typically does not happen. What Amazon does, which is the author talks about here, they actually bring their pre-meeting materials to the meeting and spend the first 10 to 15 minutes doing the pre-meeting. They work it into their agenda. It's just to make sure that everybody gets that done. And then the last thing that I'll talk about here from the podcast is to assign other agenda items to other people. It allows you it does two things. Number one, it develops other people into presenters, and it allows you to take a more strategic role and listen rather than, completely owning and controlling the meeting. Great podcast. I recommend it highly. If you like management-related videos like this, please subscribe to Human Fusion, and we'll keep you up to date on all the latest trends that are affecting you as a manager and your management practice.